Digital Designer Designation, the podcast.
Okay, so we're diving deep into digital design today.
Not just like the pretty stuff,
right?
But the real deal, like what makes it tick.
Yeah, getting into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly.
But behind the scenes.
Yeah. We're going way beyond pixels today into this world where, honestly, good design.
It's huge.
It's not just about aesthetics anymore.
Yeah.
It's like reshaping how we live.
It really is.
How we work, even how we think. And,
it's true.
We're going to break it all down.
Yeah.
We're taking what's usually stuck in like boring textbooks,
Absolutely.
Or like expert jargon.
Yeah, all those like insider terms that nobody understands.
Right. And we're going to make it clear. We're going to make it engaging.
Make it accessible.
And, dare I say, even fun.
A little bit of fun. Yeah.
A little bit. Why not?
Yeah.
So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
First things first.
Why is digital design such a big deal these days?
I mean, why isn't it enough to just, have a killer programmer anymore?
Well, because I think the game has changed. We're so far past the days of just like, oh, let's just put some information online.
Well, yeah.
Now we're talking about solutions, creating digital solutions that are systems and interfaces that change how we behave.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like think about online banking.
Okay. Yeah.
Social media, the way we consume, entertainment. Everything's been completely revolutionized in such a short amount of time.
Totally.
And it requires a completely different way of thinking about design.
It's true. And it's funny, you mentioning that. I was reading this article the other day, and it was talking about how back in the day, like way back in the day, when like the web was new.
Oh, yeah.
It was just about getting content online.
Just get it up there.
Like, how do we get this from here to there?
Yeah.
And now it's all about creating these seamless, almost addictive experiences.
Totally.
And it made me think about how we've moved so far beyond just taking something that exists and digitizing it. It's like we're not just putting recipes online, we're like inventing new kitchens.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like with the smart appliances and all that.
It's not about efficiency anymore. It's about new possibilities,
Okay.
Like think about self-driving cars.
Okay.
Personalized medicine.
Huge.
These are huge shifts, and they're all driven by
digital, yeah.
Digital, which means they need digital design.
It makes sense.
To succeed.
So then what are we talking about when we say digital design?
What is that? What sets it apart from
Yeah.
graphic design or web development?
Is it someone who can like code like a ninja
Yeah.
and paint like Picasso? Like, is that what we're talking about?
It's funny because that's what people think, but it's not about being a master of everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's more like you need a more comprehensive approach, a holistic approach.
Okay.
One thing is this design competence.
Design competence, okay.
Which is like being able to figure out what the real need is and crafting solutions for that.
So it's problem solving, basically.
It's more than just making it look pretty,
Right.
It's solving real problems for real people.
I like that.
But then there's this other thing, which is material competence.
Material competence.
Which sounds very...
That sounds intense.
It sounds very... Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's basically understanding...
Like what you're working with.
The possibilities and the limitations of the technology itself.
Okay.
So you need to be able to spit the language of technology.
So no designing teleportation apps unless we got the tech for it.
Well, unless you figured out time travel on top of that.
That's true. That's true.
You're probably not designing teleportation apps.
Fair.
But you hit on something, which is the realistic goals part.
Okay.
You have to be able to look at what's possible, what are the limitations,
right,
and work with that to create something new.
Okay, so it's like understanding both sides, right? Like the human side.
The needs, the desires, and then the technological side, what's actually doable.
It takes a village, too.
Yeah, it does.
To build these digital solutions these days.
And I feel like it takes like a very diverse village because when I was looking through the research for this, it's like you've got your coders.
You got your coders, your data analysts.
You got your data people. I even saw anthropologists.
Anthropology. Yeah, I know it sounds a little strange at first.
It does. It does. Like, oh, what?
But when you think about it,
okay,
if you're designing for digital, you're designing for humans.
That's true, yeah.
And that means understanding how humans behave, what motivates them.
The why behind everything.
Even like little cultural nuances.
Oh, totally.
That change how people use technology.
Anthropology, that's wild.
Yeah.
But it makes sense when you put it that way.
It all connects,
It really does. It's like you're not just designing an app, you're designing, I don't know, it's like you said, part of a new world.
A new way of, A new world, new way of interacting.
Yeah, and that actually makes me think of, I think it was one of the articles talked about the social dimension of design.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that always kind of stuck with me because it's like, it's more than just making things look pretty. It's about how do people fit into this?
Yeah, because digital solutions don't exist in a vacuum.
Right. They're not just like standalone things.
They have a real impact on how we interact with the world around us.
Totally.
And maybe even more importantly, how we interact with each other.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of that? Like, what's a good example of how this digital design thing
has actually changed how we interact?
I mean, social media is a big one, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's changed so much about how we communicate, how we share information,
Totally.
How we form relationships, how we maintain relationships.
Yeah, it's like the main way now.
It really is.
For a lot of people.
And it's brought up a whole bunch of,
Oh, yeah, a whole can of worms.
technical considerations, right?
Yeah, are we really connecting? Or
Right, like data privacy, misinformation,
addictive, even
agent purrs.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
doom scrolling, haven't we all?
we've all been there.
But it's like, these are things that somebody designing these platforms has to think about.
It's not just about does it work? It's what's it going to do?
What's the impact? What
happens, second, third order effects down the line?
Yeah, like how does this change things?
Exactly.
It's that whole we shape our tools and then our tools shape us kind of thing, right?
100%. And I think it's,
it's more true now than ever in the digital age.
It's never been more true.
So with that in mind then, digital designers, they have a big responsibility, don't they?
100%. Yeah. I mean, you're not just building an app.
Right.
You're shaping behaviors, influencing societal norms.
Wow.
You're really kind of creating a world in a way.
So it's not enough to just build something that works. It has to be something that contributes.
It has to matter.
Like, it really has to have some kind of positive impact.
And that takes us back to, remember we were talking about design competence?
Right.
Like identifying the real need.
Solving the right problem.
Yes.
Not just any problem, the right problem.
Because you could create a solution that works perfectly.
Right.
But if it's solving the wrong problem,
it's useless.
It's useless.
Or even worse, it's harmful.
Right, exactly.
It's like, you build a bridge, but nobody needs to cross the river.
Right, exactly. And then on the flip side, you could build a bridge that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But if it collapses when people try to use it.
Right, it's not functional.
It's not helpful.
You need both.
So you need both. You need that balance.
We need form and function.
Right. And I think that's where, I remember we were talking about it earlier, that whole FFQ model.
Oh, yeah, the FFQ.
It sounds like, I don't know.
Like fast food or something?
Yeah, it sounds like a combo meal at a drive-thru.
It does.
But it's actually a pretty helpful way, I think, of breaking down these complex systems.
It is. It's a framework.
Yeah. So walk me through it.
Okay.
Like, how does that work in practice?
So FFQ, form, function, quality.
Okay.
And it's funny, you mentioned fast food because I always think of it like building a burger, right?
Right.
You've got your ingredients, you've got what it does, and then you've got how good it is.
Okay, so the form is like the ingredients.
Kind of, yeah, like the structure of it.
Okay.
So if we think about like that hotel booking app we were talking about before.
Yeah.
The form is everything from like the layout you see on your screen,
okay,
the buttons you click, to all the hidden systems on the back end.
The stuff we don't see.
The stuff you don't see, the databases, the servers, all that.
Okay, got it.
So that's like the skeleton, the foundation.
The form, okay.
Then you've got the function, which is what does it actually do?
Okay, so that's like I'm making a reservation.
Exactly. So you're searching for hotels. You're comparing prices, you're booking rooms, you might be generating a digital key,
Fancy.
Processing payments, getting notifications about your stay, all of that.
Okay, so that's all the action.
That's the verbs, yeah, that brings it to life.
Okay, so we've got the structure, the form,
Yep.
We've got the actions, the function.
Right.
And that leaves us with quality, which seems pretty important.
Quality is huge.
Especially when we're talking about like people's personal information, their payment details, like that better be high quality.
Absolutely. You don't want a low-quality app handling your credit card.
No, thank you.
So quality is all about how smooth is the user experience?
Okay.
How intuitive is it? But also, how secure is it?
Right.
Are you confident that your data is safe?
Yeah. Are they going to sell my data to some,
exactly.
scanning company?
All those considerations factor into quality.
Okay, so it's not just about building something that works.
Nope.
It's about building something that works well.
It has to be good. Yeah.
And that, I imagine, takes a lot of I don't know, what's the word? Like foresight.
Foresight. Yeah, empathy.
Empathy. Yeah.
Because you have to really understand,
the human side of it.
the human side. Exactly.
Put yourself in the user's shoes.
Exactly.
I'm starting to rethink all the apps I use now.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the stuff that I just take for granted. Like,
It's easy to forget, right?
yeah, it's easy to forget that there are actual people
Real people. Real humans.
behind the scenes, making this stuff happen.
With, feelings and ideas.
Yeah. It's not just ones and zeros.
Oh, no. It's not just code.
There's a lot more to it.
It's design. It's creativity. It's problem solving.
And it's always evolving.
Constantly. Yeah, it's never done.
Because technology is always changing.
Always changing. There are always new possibilities.
New challenges, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
So how do you even keep up?
That's where, this whole idea of the iterative process comes in.
Oh, yeah, the iterative dance, right.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, because it's not a one and done kind of thing.
Okay.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, improving.
It's a dance, huh? But it sounds like with this iterative thing, you're never really done, are you?
That's the thing. You're kind of always moving, always adapting.
You're chasing a moving target.
Kinda, yeah. It's more about the journey, not just the destination.
Okay.
And that's especially true when you're dealing with those, what do they call them, those wicked problems?
Oh, right, yeah.
The ones that there's no easy answer for.
The ones that keep you up at night.
Exactly.
Designing the perfect social media platform.
Oh, there you go.
That's a wicked problem if I ever heard one.
Talk about a moving target.
Right, because it's complex.
So many factors.
There's no one size fits all, and just when you think you've figured it out,
Something changes.
something changes.
The whole landscape shifts.
So then you got to start all over.
Well, not start over, but you got to adapt.
Okay, so how do you even approach that then? If you know things are constantly going to be changing.
Well, that's where this whole iterative thing comes in.
Okay.
It's not about trying to design the perfect solution right out of the gate.
You're not going to get it right on the first try.
You're probably not going to get it right ever, but that's fine.
Okay.
It's about taking it step by step, right?
Okay.
And the first step is always what we call scoping.
Scoping, what is that?
Scoping is basically you're figuring out the lay of the land.
Okay, so before you start building a house, you got to know
What kind of foundation you need.
what the soil is are there any
Zoning regulations.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You got to know what you're dealing with.
Okay, so you're doing your research basically.
Big time research, like a detective almost.
Gathering clues.
You're talking to users, you're looking at the data, you're trying to understand the problem thoroughly inside and out. Because if you don't understand the problem,
You're going to solve the wrong one.
you're going to design a solution for something that doesn't even exist.
That's a good point.
So scoping is crucial. It's like laying the foundation.
Okay, so you've done your scoping, you understand the problem.
You've done your homework.
What's next? Then comes the fun part, concept work.
Okay, this is where we get creative.
This is where you get to be creative, you get to brainstorm, you prototype, you're just throwing ideas at the wall.
Seeing what sticks.
Seeing what sticks, exactly.
I love that.
And the good thing is, at this stage, it's low stakes, you know?
Right.
You're not building the whole thing yet.
Right.
You're just sketching, wireframing, making mock-ups.
Like a first draft.
Exactly. You're just trying to get the ideas out of your head.
Okay, so you're testing the waters. You're not committing to anything yet.
Exactly. And this is also a great time to start getting feedback.
From users.
From users, from stakeholders, from other designers.
Okay, so you're getting those outside perspectives.
Fresh eyes always helps.
And then you use that feedback to kind of refine your concept.
You iterate, you refine, you go back to the drawing board, and you keep doing that.
Until you get it right. Until you have something that you're happy with and that you think is going to actually solve the problem.
But it's never really done, is it?
Well, at some point, you got to actually build the thing, right?
Right. You can't just stay in the concept phase forever.
Exactly. So then you move into development.
Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road.
This is where it gets real. Yeah, you're writing code, you're designing interfaces, you're actually building the thing.
Okay.
But here's the thing, even in development,
Yeah.
you're still iterating.
Oh, so it's not like you just hand it off to the developers and say, see ya?
No. You're working closely with them the whole way.
Because things come up. Right.
Things always come up. You hit a roadblock, you get some unexpected feedback.
And you got to be ready to adapt.
Exactly. And then even after launch, once it's out there in the world.
Oh, not over then.
Oh, no. That's when the real fun begins.
After.
Because now you have real users using your product in the real world.
And they're going to find ways to use it that you never even thought of.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to break it. They're going to find workarounds.
And that's a good thing.
It's a great thing because it gives you so much valuable data.
So you're constantly learning, even after the product is out there.
Always learning, always iterating. It never stops.
This has been eye-opening.
It's a wild ride.
It really is. I feel like I'm seeing the digital world in a whole new light now.
That's what we like to hear.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here, what's the one thing, the one key takeaway that you want our listeners to walk away with?
Remember, good digital design, it's not just about the tech. It's about the people.
The humans.
The humans, yeah. It's about empathy. It's about being adaptable.
And it's about making things that matter.
Exactly.
Well said. This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for taking us behind the curtain, showing us the magic.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And for our listeners, until next time, keep on diving deep.